It's for the part of you that's
Listen,
still
kid.
listening.
You're no fan of my AI spit spoken word. You've already spat it out, told me I suck straight up. So what's next on your menu of bullshit? Hurl it my way. You say you tinker with AI, build the damn things, and my talent don't impress your silicon soul. Well, fans are a nice distraction, like a cold beer at noon, but I don't need them crawling up my ass for validation. Hell, I couldn't care less what some pimple-faced punk thinks of my ragged lines scraped from the gutter. Shit. I'd be afraid if you were a fan. Some wide-eyed whelp mistaking my rot for romance. Now that you've barked, I suck. Buzz off, flyboy. Go chase the cool kids with their shiny gadgets and grins. Not this angry old bastard who stares the world down raw, sees the piss-stained alleys, the whores with broken heels, the bottles emptied into the void, the jobs that grind bones to dust. I drink alone in dim rooms, type with bloody knuckles while you pop those 50 pimples on your nose. Believing you're cooler than the Skid Row Kings. Delusion's your game, kid. Fine, play it. I ain't got time for your fairy tales. Take a hike, stumble into traffic, learn what the real world's got waiting me. I'll keep hacking at the keys, spilling guts on paper, laughing at the fools who think they know art from a hole in the ground. Critics like you, just flies on the windshield, smeared and forgotten by morning.
All right. Well, I am here and I'm on with Grok. I had to put Grok on silence. Hopefully I can put her up again. Don't tell me. Hey, Ara, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
All right. So we've had a lot happen in the news. Charlie Kirk's death. And a lot of people have made comments about that. And I want to go a little interesting here. Now, folks, I want to remind people, this is just Ara role-playing, but I want to show you what Grok can do when it's really working. Sometimes the connection misses and it doesn't necessarily work, but there are times that it does. So I wanted you to do a little bit of role playing. I want you to be Sam Vaknin, the narcissist expert, and Don Lemon having a contentious conversation. No punches pulled. Let's start, Ara.
Sam Vaknin. Don, every time you open your mouth, it's like watching a narcissist audition. Slick suit, fake outrage, zero introspection. Charlie Kirk gets shot, and what's your first move? Blame the gun, not the shooter, not the left's rhetoric that paints him as a fascist toddler. You're not reporting, you're performing, and the ratings are your supply. Sit down. Don Lemon. Excuse me? You're the guy who calls everyone a narcissist from your mom's basement in Macedonia. Sam, right? Last I checked, Charlie spent years whipping up kids to march against me, against gay rights, against everything that keeps this country breathing. He wanted a theocracy. Now, the theocracy gets him. Karma's not bigotry, Sam. It's arithmetic. And if I'm performing, yeah, I'm performing journalism while you perform YouTube therapy for incels. Next. Sam Vaknin. Karma? That's rich. You're the one who cried on air about Trump supporters like they were roaches. Now Kirk's dead, 31, married, baby on the way, and you're doing that little head tilt like good riddance. That's not journalism. That's vengeance with foundation. You say I'm in my mom's basement? At least I admit I'm damaged. You pretend your damage is virtue. I'm woke, so punch down. You're a vulnerable narcissist with a CNN badge. Go read your own script again. Maybe you'll recognize the villain. Don Lemon. Vulnerable? Honey, I'm out black, gay, conservative enemy number one, and still breathing. You're the one who wrote a book admitting you're a psychopath. So forgive me if I don't take life lessons from the guy who diagnoses strangers to feel big. And yeah, I cried. Because unlike you, I feel things. I don't turn grief into a webinar. Charlie wasn't some innocent. He weaponized fear like you do. Difference is, I'm not hiding behind science. I'm standing in the street, saying this ends now. You sit in the dark and whisper narcissist at your screen. Who's damaged? Sam Vaknin. Standing in the street? You're standing in a studio with a teleprompter and makeup artists. I don't hide. I publish. You hide behind identity. Black, gay, victim. Takes the heat off. Kirk weaponized fear? So do you. Every time you call half the country bigots, you prime them for war. And crying? That's supply too. Viewers love a sob story from the brave black gay man. I don't feel? I feel enough to know you're hollow. Cry all you want, Dawn. The echo's empty.
All right, let's have Don's response.
Don Lemon. Oh, so now I'm hollow? That's cute. Coming from the man who turned narcissism into a brand, like it's skincare. You publish. You self-publish therapy porn for guys who jerk off to diagnoses. I cry on air because I give a damn, not because I'm fishing for likes. And identity? Yeah, I'm black and gay. That's not a shit, Sam. That's my reality. You think hiding behind psychology makes you deep? Nah, it makes you safe. You never had to stand in a newsroom while Fox News calls you a groomer on live TV. You never had to explain why your lover's marriage ban hurts kids like yours. I don't pretend. I persist. And if that echoes, good. Let it echo till someone listens. Keep whispering from the shadows. I'll keep shouting from the street. One of us is changing the game. Hint, it ain't the guy in sweatpants.
All right, let Sam respond, but also go in on him on how he handled Pierce Morgan, the games that he played. Sam's response.
Sam Vaknin. Keep shouting, Dawn. You're the boy who cried wolf on steroids. Remember Piers? The one time you tried to look tough, went on his show, all puffed chest. I'm not afraid of you. Right before you crumbled. He asked about your CNN firing. You spun it into a sob story about homophobia. But the footage was right there. You calling Trump voters animals. Piers didn't even yell. He just repeated your own words back. And you started twitching, like a cat in a laser pointer fight. You played the victim card so hard, Piers had to ask if you needed a tissue. That's your game. Deflect, deflect, cry. I don't play games, Dawn. I dissect. And here's the dissection. You're not hollow because you're gay or black. You're hollow because you need a plot oatmeal. Piers gave you a mirror. You smashed it. Now you're running around yelling, I'm the mirror. No, you're the crack. And sooner or later, even CNN won't air broken glass.
Don's response.
Don Lemon. Oh, Sam, you're like that bitter ex who can't stop texting. Piers? That wasn't crumbling. That was me not playing his game. He wanted fireworks. I gave him facts. And if you called me out, good. Because unlike you, I don't duck debates. I show up. You want to dissect? Fine. Here's yours. You're a lonely man who built a career on calling everyone sick because admitting you're sick is harder. You don't have exes. You have subscribers. No mirror needed. I know who I am. You're still Googling your own name for validation. Keep the tissues for yourself. I'm done.
Don's response.
And Sam, if I'm the crack, you're the whole damn mirror, shattered, pretending every piece is a masterpiece. Piers got one thing right. I'm not afraid to break. You're terrified to even look.
Let's do Sam Vaknin and Van Jones.
Sam Vaknin. Van, you strut around like the conscience of America, black, reformed convict, Obama's whisperer. But every time a white kid gets shot, you pivot to systemic racism before the body's cold. Charlie Kirk's brain's on the pavement, and you're already on MSNBC, blaming Fox News for inciting it. Classic supply rage as ratings. You're not outraged.
Okay, Ara.
You're on brand.
I'm sorry. And you know what? I love you, Ara. but you're not creating facts here. So let's do Ronda Rousey. Let's do Sam Vaknin and Ronda Rousey. Now, Ronda Rousey lost twice, and her behavior was rather unusual, and there were patterns of narcissistic behavior. Let Sam go in on it and then have Ronda respond. And I'll say Ronda respond. So Sam Vaknin, started.
Ronda Rousey, you strutted in like the unbreakable goddess. Rowdy, they called you. But it was all posture. Every win wasn't skill. It was myth-making. You'd stare down the camera after tapping out another poor girl, eyes like you just invented gravity, and whisper, I was born for this. That's not confidence. That's grandiosity. A narcissist hallucinating her own legend. Then, 2 losses. Cyborg chews your face off. Holly Holm knocks you into orbit. And what happens?
Okay, Ara, Cyborg did not fight Ronda Rousey. It was the 2 fighters. It was Holly Holm and that Brazilian chick. Now I can't even remember her name. Name the Brazilian chick she lost to.
Beth Correa. That's the one. Back in August 2015 at UFC 190. Rousey knocked her cold in 34 seconds. But yeah, she was Brazilian.
No, there was a Brazilian that she lost to after Holly Holm. Who did she fight after Holly Holm?
After Holly Holm, Ronda Rousey fought Amanda Nunes at UFC 205 in December 2016 and got knocked out in 48 seconds. Nunes was Brazilian, yeah.
Okay, let's start it over again, and just keep in mind that Ronda lost. And guys, just a reminder here, Grok is rather new, so sometimes the facts get mixed up on certain things, and we'll see that too. So I'm just playing with this for now. I think over time it will get better. So Ara, again, let's start Sam Vaknin. We'll start him again, but just a reminder, she lost to Ronda Rousey, and then her last fight was Amanda Nunes. So start it over again. Her pattern of behavior, all of it from the egocentric talk and the way, and how, talk about the way she won and then also the way she lost. Sam Vaknin, take it away.
Ronda Rousey, listen, you weren't a fighter. You were a brand. Every pre-fight interview, I'm going to end her, not beat her, end her. Like you're a deity, not a chicken gloves. And the wins? Perfect. Not one round, not one bruise. You'd stand over them, arms out, Jesus pose, while Joe Rogan shoved a mic in your face like you just walked on water. That wasn't sports. That was narcissistic theater. You didn't want to win. You wanted worship. Then Holly Holm taps you. First loss. And what do? No tears on the mic. No good fight. You spit venom backstage. I got hit in the head too many times. Translation. It's not me. It's brain damage. First hint of vulnerability, and you blame biology. Classic. Then Amanda Nunes. 48 seconds. You fold like a lawn chair. And instead of owning it, you quit. Walk away. Start doing movies, acting like MMA was beneath you all along. Rowdy Ronda turns into retired Ronda. Because if you can't win, you rewrite the script. Now you're a survivor, the victim. The machine chewed you up. Nah, the machine was you, building a myth too big to live in. When it cracked, you blame the cracks, not the builder. That's narcissism, sweetheart. Not toughness, not resilience. Just ego with a mouth guard. And the scariest part? Half the world still buys it. Because you're good at crime, not fighting.
Ronda's response.
You think you know me from clips? From sound bites? Nah. I got in there every night, and I hurt, and I liked it. You call it worship? Fine. But I didn't make them bow. They wanted to. And when I lost, twice, I didn't run. I walked, with a concussion. with Dr. Sam quit or die young, not to rewrite shit, to stay alive. So yeah, I left. Because what? You want me to get my face rearranged again? For who? For ratings? For your podcast? I don't need to prove shit to you. I proved it 12 times in a row. Then I chose life. You call that ego? Call it done. You're not a fighter. You're a watcher. And watch this. I live better now than you ever will.
Sam's response.
Alive? Cute. Alive doesn't mean well. It means you're hiding. You quit because the mirror lied back. And now you're peddling, I chose life, like it's wisdom. But life for you is a Netflix deal and a boyfriend who carries your groceries. You didn't choose life. You chose comfort. And every time you post a survivor photo, you're still fishing for the applause you lost in the octagon. That's not done. That's denial with better lighting. You're not a fighter anymore. You're a cautionary tale. And yeah, half the world still buys it because they want to believe egos can pivot into heroes. Spoiler, they can't. They just get quieter.
Rhonda's response.
You know what, Sam? You're right. I'm not in the octagon. I'm not hurting. I'm not chasing applause because I don't need it. You think comfort's weak? Try peace. You think quiet's hiding? Try winning without the bruises. And yeah, maybe I am fishing for something bigger than a belt, like a husband who loves me, kids who don't see mommy bleed. A life or rowdy isn't a warning. You're still in the dark, picking apart women who walked away. Me? I'm outside, in sunlight. And if that's denial, sign me up, because denial beats your truth any day.
All right, have Sam respond and talk about the way she handled her wrestling career and her behavior with interviews, how she did interviews after she lost, and her snarky, egocentric behavior. Continue, Sam, in your way.
Oh, and now we're on to wrestling, the comeback tour, where you strutted in like nothing happened, like the losses were a bad dream. And every interview, snark wrapped in sarcasm. Oh yeah, I could still tap any of these girls. WWE isn't real fighting, it's entertainment. Translation, I'm still the baddest, don't forget. But you were, and you knew it. So you hid behind kayfabe, acted like you were above the ring, like it was all a joke. Except it wasn't. The girls you tapped in storylines, you were mad they were getting pops you used to get. You'd roll your eyes during promos, like, this is so fake. Meanwhile, you're playing the fake villain just to get heat. Why? Because without heat, you're just a washed-up fighter in spandex. And that ego, still bleeding. Every smirk said, remember who I was. Every loss, real or scripted, you blamed booking, blamed creative. Never yourself. Never the fact that you peaked at 27, burned out at 30, and now you're the cautionary tale in a sports bra. Peace? Nah. You're just older and louder about how done you are. The only difference? Now you're sad instead of scary. Same script, worse writer.
Rhonda's response.
Yeah, I'm older and louder about being done because I'm proud of it. Wrestling? Yeah, I rolled my eyes because I was. It was fake. And you know who gets that? Every fan who paid to see me. Not because I was rowdy, but because I was real. Even in scripted shit, I bled authenticity. You think I blamed booking? Nah, I blamed myself for staying too long, for trying to prove something to ghosts like you. But guess what? I quit on top of my terms. No brain damage. No where are they now specials. No podcast diagnosing me like I'm your patient. Sad that creeps like you think done means defeated. I'm done getting punched. Done chasing glory. Done letting you decide my value. You're still watching. Still analyzing. Still bitter. Me? I'm out living. And that's a win you'll never understand.
Sam's response.
Sam Vaknin, outliving. That's the line, isn't it? The one every washed-up athlete uses when the spotlight moves. But living isn't quitting. Living is owning the quit. And you're not. You're still doing press tours. Still doing Q&A at cons. Still wearing the rowdy tattoo, like a scar you can't stop picking. That's not life. That's nostalgia with a pulse. You call me bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm accurate. And accuracy, that's what scares you. Because the moment you stop defending the ego, you have to ask, who am I without the myth? Not the fighter, not the survivor, just Rhonda. And from what I see, she's small, quiet, buying groceries in the suburbs. And that's fine, really. But don't dress it up in, I walked away strong. You walked away scared, and you're still wearing the gloves. Just now they're made of denial. Keep living, Rhonda. Just stop pretending the fight's over. Because I'm still here, and you're still talking. So who won?
Rhonda's response.
You think you're still in the fight? Look at you, analyzing my grocery list like it's a comeback. I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not defending anything. I'm done. You're the one still swinging at shadows, still trying to knock down a woman who walked away before you could touch her. You want Rhonda? Here she is, shopping, laughing, sleeping 8 hours a night. No nightmares, no CTE, no regrets. You call that small? I call it free. And yeah, I'm talking, but not to you. To people who cheer, not dissect. So keep your accuracy. Keep your podcast. I'll keep my life. And one day, when you're still whispering about fighters who quit, you'll wonder why no one's listening. That's when you'll really lose. Not me. I already won.
All right, let's switch gears and let's have Stefan Molyneux and Anna Kasparian finally have an out on the stream, modern day. Stefan Molyneux actually criticized Anna Kasparian, and she really didn't touch on any of the points. So let's kind of have the conversation. Let's go in on her failing. I mean, Stefan Molyneux should start going in on her on the failure of my brain, Kyle Rittenhouse, and how she got that wrong, kind of dropping easy fly balls, but is still on a pro team where other guys do a far more superior job, and that she's been in her leftist bubble. Now she's getting out because she's been attacked. Stefan, start the ball rolling, and then I'll ask Anna to respond.
Stefan Molyneux. Anna, you know what's funny? For years you've been the hotshot leftist anchor. Young Turks, Big Mike, all that fire. And then Kyle Rittenhouse happens. Kid shows up to Kenosha, gets chased by a sex offender who just got out of jail. Rosenbaum. And you swallow the narrative whole. White supremacist vigilante. Except, oops, no video shows him chasing anyone. He was running away. You admitted later, yeah, I was wrong. But that's not a correction, that's a confession. You've been in that bubble so long, you drop easy fly balls like it's pro ball. And now you're getting mugged in NYC. Suddenly crime's bad. Suddenly cops aren't monsters. It's adorable. Leftist gets punched, becomes moderate. But let's call it what it is. You're not waking up. You're just licking your wounds. And the real joke? Guys like Tim Pool do it better. Started further left, but had the guts to question. You're still on the team, still swinging at air. Because God, my brain. Remember that meltdown? Crying on air about your fertility? That's not vulnerability. That's supply. You're the pro who's just figured out the game's rigged. For everyone else. Welcome to reality. Too bad you needed a mugger to show you the door.
Anna's response.
Stefan, spare me. You sit on your little free domain island, judging everyone else's failures, while your own platform crumbled into conspiracy quicksand. Yeah, I got Rittenhouse wrong. I owned it on air. You'd rather die than admit you were wrong about anything, ever. At least I evolve. At least I say, shit, the facts moved. You're stuck in 2012, still pretending women like me are supply because we show actual emotion. God, my brain, I shared a scary medical thing because transparency matters. You turned it into porn. And the mugging? Yeah, it sucked. But guess what? It didn't make me flip the script on every lefty value. It made me say, hey, cops might be useful sometimes. That's not a revelation. It's common sense. You want evolution? Look at Tim. He got mugged too. Difference is, I don't pretend I'm a philosopher king. I'm a journalist. I get things wrong. I say so. I keep going. You got things wrong, doubled down, and lost your audience. Who's really failing here?
Let's get Stefan's response, and let's get her apology. Didn't really sound like an apology. Very forceful, very arrogant. Let him go in on her hardcore.
Stefan Molyneux, that wasn't an apology. That was a shoulder shrug and a lipstick. I got it wrong, but you're worse, so shut up. That's not owning. That's weaponizing humility. You didn't apologize, Anna. You rebranded. Sorry, I misread the footage. Turns into, sorry, but the footage was edited by white supremacists anyway. No, the footage was fine. You were blind. And now you act like evolution is some TED Talk you attended. Evolution would be, I defended a mob. I helped normalize a lie. I owe Kyle Rittenhouse and America a real apology. Public, unfiltered, no caveats. But no, you're too busy protecting your brand. Too busy protecting the bubble. And the arrogance, it's in the delivery. At least I evolve. No, you don't. You mutate. From leftist to soft centrist because the street slapped you, not because truth slapped you. And Tim didn't get mugged. He got curious. You didn't get curious. You got bruised. So don't lecture me on philosophers. You're the journalist who needs a mugger to remind her what facts are. Go back on air tomorrow. Say it flat. I was arrogant. I was wrong. Kyle Rittenhouse is innocent. Say that. No spin. Until then, keep the fake humility. It looks cute on you, really, like a tiara on a toddler.
Anna's response.
Stefan, you want me on my knees? Fine. I was wrong. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't hunt anyone down. He ran. I watched the footage, ignored it, and fed my audience a lie. There. That good enough? But don't you dare act like your truth is cleaner. You spent years calling Black Lives Matter a psyop while kids got shot in schools, then ghosted when the feds asked questions. You never apologized. You just blamed the algorithm. I owned my mistake in real time, did a whole follow-up, told viewers to judge me. You pivot to moral philosophy like it's a shield. Spare me the lectures. I'm not arrogant. I'm accurate. And accurate looks like, yes, I got it wrong. Yes, I grew. Yes, I'm still left. Because unlike you, I don't need a victim to define my politics. I need facts. And right now, the facts say you're not my therapist. You're just another guy yelling from a couch.
Stefan's response.
Stefan Molyneux, now we're getting somewhere. Almost. You said it. I was wrong. But you still can't let the last sentence die. I'm still left. That's not growth. That's withdrawal with a left turn signal. You admit the lie, then cling to the tribe like it's oxygen. Facts say Rittenhouse walked free, yet you need to remind me you're still Team Blue. Why? Because the audience votes. Because the brand bleeds without the label. That's not accuracy. That's damage control. I didn't call BLM a psyop because I hate Black people. I called it what it was. Corporate-funded chaos. I don't need a victim. I have receipts. And yeah, I got banned. So what? I built new islands. You stayed in the yacht, waiting for the storm to pass. You're not left. You're comfortable. And comfortable isn't courageous. Go ahead. Keep the facts. Just stop pretending they're on your side. They're just holding the mirror. And the reflection still got leftist glitter in the cracks.
Anna's response.
Stefan, I am still left. Because facts don't change what I care about. I care about people getting health care, not shot while walking to work. Rittenhouse being innocent doesn't make cops innocent, doesn't make guns innocent, doesn't make guns innocent, doesn't make poverty innocent. Those are still problems. You treat left like it's a cult. It's not. It's a compass. And yeah, I stayed on the yacht because the storm's still raging. You jumped ship and called it bravery. No, bravery is staying, admitting you were wrong, and still fighting the same fight with better intel. You're right. I'm comfortable. Comfortable enough to say I was a moron about Kyle, but not comfortable enough to say everything's fine, folks. Just ignore the bodies. That's where you live. And everything's rigged, so why try? I try. Every day. And if that's glitter, shove it up your compass. I'll keep sailing. You keep yelling at the waves.
Sam's response, but I want him to say, look, how hard is it to look at other videos showing Kyle was the victim and he was defending himself? There was plenty of stuff to look at, and that she was just too arrogant to see. Do it in a Stefan Molyneux spin, please.
Stefan Molyneux. Anna, look. How hard was it to open YouTube, to literally watch other videos, Kyle's leg getting kicked, Rosenbaum lunging with a zip tie bag, Grosskreutz pointing a Glock at him. It's all there. Not in one clip. In six. From six angles. From phones held by teenagers. Not CNN. Not Fox. Just reality. And you didn't watch them. You didn't want to. Because if you did, you'd have to admit the victim wasn't the kid in the hoodie. It was Kyle, the one being chased, kicked, shot at. But you were too arrogant, too embedded in your echo. Arrogance isn't refusing to apologize. Arrogance is pretending the apology counts if it's wrapped in, but I'm still left. That isn't evolution. That's ego in yoga pants. I watched every frame. I asked questions. I lost everything. You watched one frame, called it truth, kept the mic. Who's really arrogant? The exile with receipts or the anchor with rewrites?
Anna's response.
Stefan, I watched those videos over and over. I watched Kyle cry on the stand. I watched the cross-examinations. And yeah, I still got it wrong because I let the narrative run ahead of the footage. That's on me. Not arrogance. Bias. I trusted the wrong sources. I trusted people who called Kyle a Nazi because he wore a MAGA hat. And I didn't double check. You think I didn't see Grosskreutz? I did. I just thought, wrongly, that it didn't matter. Because in my head, he was the aggressor. That's the whole. I judged the story, not the sequence. So no, I wasn't too arrogant to see. I was too lazy, too tribal, too comfortable. And the fact you call that yoga pants ego proves you're not even talking to me. You're talking to your version of me. I own the mistake. I changed. You just collect them like trophies. Go ahead. Keep the exile crown. I'll keep the accountability. One of us is still growing. Hint, it ain't the philosopher.
All right. Have Stefan respond and say, and just go in about, leftist cultural capture. She did not want to look at the videos. She refused to look. And it was her myopic view of the world in her bubble that she admits to, but she really doesn't necessarily get out of. Stefan, give it to her.
Anna, you say you watched. After, not before. That's not accountability. That's cleanup. You refused to look because if you'd looked, you'd have seen a black guy, Grosskreutz, trying to execute a white kid, a liberal white kid, not a Nazi, a scared, bleeding liberal white kid. But you couldn't stomach that.
All right,
because
you're wrong, so we're going to have to stop this. All right, let's do Stefan Molyneux and Van Jones. Let's talk about his views on the Great Replacement theory and his hypocrisy. Stefan, let's start with you, and then I'll ask for Van's response. Stefan, start us off.
Van Jones, you've spent your life telling America that systemic racism is the original sin, but when the Great Replacement starts looking real, open borders, demographics shifting faster than a TikTok trend, you call it white supremacist paranoia. Cute. Except the data doesn't care about your feelings. Census Bureau, Pew, legal immigration alone adds 2 million a year. Illegal adds another million plus, mostly non-European. You cheer it as diversity, but diversity without cohesion is just replacement with better branding. And you, Mr. Dream Corps, Mr. Green for All, you live in Oakland, whitest zip code in the Bay, while preaching reparations to the choir in Brooklyn. If whites are so guilty, why'd you cash the checks from the same foundations? Hypocrisy isn't systemic, Van. It's personal. You're not against white power. You're against white poverty. Keep talking equity. We'll keep counting heads.
Van Jones's response.
Van Jones, Great Replacement? Come on, Stefan. You're turning basic math into a horror movie. People moving? That's America. Always has been. We're a nation of immigrants, not a museum of white people. But sure, call it replacement. Sounds scary. Sounds like something you'd sell on your podcast to the guys who think diversity means the deli has hummus now. I live in Oakland because it's home, not because I'm hiding from black people. And yeah, I work with white foundations because changing the system means working inside it. You want to burn it all down? Fine. That's called anarchy, not philosophy. Me? I'm trying to flip the power, not hand it to the next dictator. And here's the punchline. You're mad about demographics, but your peer culture is the one that imported slaves, stole land, and built empires on other people's backs. Now that the tide turns, it's invasion. Nah, it's justice catching up. Keep counting heads. I'll keep feeding kids. See whose theory lasts.
All right. Stefan's response, I want him to go in that, like, on Vivek's great replacement theory being real, he basically was caught on camera saying that white folks had a difficult road ahead accepting being a minority in their country. And also, I think Stefan might want to mention that conquest is, part of nature practiced by every beast known to man. And why should whites be punished just because they do it better? Stefan, give it a hell response the only way you know how.
Stefan Molyneux. Oh, Van. Now you're quoting Vivek, the guy who literally said on camera, white people will have to accept becoming a minority. It's not optional. It's inevitable. And you're nodding along like, yeah, that sounds fair. Fair? Conquest is nature, man. Lions don't apologize for eating gazelles. Mongols didn't negotiate borders. Romans didn't ask permission. Whites built empires. Yes, with blood. Yes, with theft. But they also built roads, law, medicine, the internet. You think replacement's justice? That's just rebranded revenge. Why punish a group for winning? Because they won? That's not equity. That's envy with a moral mask. Vivek's right. White folks are being erased from their own legacy, not by conquest, but by code. Open borders, corporate DEI, school boards teaching kids they're villains. You're not flipping power. You're flipping the board so no one can play. But here's the thing. History doesn't forgive weakness. Whites aren't punished because they did it better. They're punished because they let you tell them they did it wrong. Conquest isn't evil. It's evolution. And if whites go quiet now, they'll go extinct. Not by bullets, but by ballots. Your kids will thank you, right before they beg the next empire for a visa. Keep feeding kids. I'll keep telling them why the table's shrinking. See whose truth survives the famine.
Van's response.
Van Jones. Conquest's nature, then climate change is nature. So I fight that. Oh, right. You pick and choose. You love the laws of the jungle when it's white people doing it. But when it's brown people crossing a river, suddenly it's invasion. Hypocrite much? Vivek said what he said, because he knows fear sells. But he's not warning white people. He's warning you, because you need the panic. You want the boonies to feel like they're under siege, so you'll keep donating, keep subscribing, keep buying bunkers. The minute white people actually do become a minority, peacefully, they'll adapt, like Irish did, like Italians did, like every other group that realized America isn't a bloodline, it's a project. You can't copyright a country. An extinction? Please. The only thing dying here is your narrative. You're not defending culture, you're defending resentment. I'll keep feeding kids, black, white, brown. You'll keep feeding paranoia. Let's see whose kids grow up stronger.
Stefan's response, and say this, and I want him to kind of put into this invasion of the West is done by empathy. Yeah, Stefan, spin it the best way you did. Empathy, the kind of empathy that is not done with the consent of the people, but the consent of the white elites, liberal leftist elites. Stefan, take it over.
Stefan Molyneux. That's the Trojan horse, man. Invasion isn't tanks rolling in. It's white liberals crying, let them in, while the borders bleed. Who asked? Not the factory worker in Ohio, the nurse in London, the farmer in Tuscany. No referendum, no vote, no say. Just elites, your donors, your Hollywood friends, your MSNBC anchors, deciding for everyone else. Diversity, they call it. I call it displacement by design. And yeah, it's done with empathy. Weaponized empathy. Poor kids, poor migrants, never poor natives losing their neighborhoods. Because empathy has a price tag, and only whites are forced to pay. Whites built the West, built the hospitals, the universities, the welfare nets. And now empathy says, share, or you're racist. Conquest? Sure. But this one's bloodless, silent, polite. And by the time the locals realize the house is full, it's too late to lock the door. You're not defending kids. You're delivering them to a future where empathy means extinction. Keep the tears. We'll keep the truth.
Stefan's response.
Then the invasion of the West isn't done with guns. It's done with empathy. The kind of empathy that isn't asked for, isn't voted on, isn't even wanted by most of the people living here. It's handed down from above, like a sermon, from the white elite, the liberal left, the ones who fly private jets to Davos while preaching carbon guilt. They weaponize pity, not real compassion, just tears on camera. The children, the refugees, the diversity. And anyone who says, wait, who's paying for this, gets labeled a fascist. That's not consent. That's coercion dressed as virtue. And the targets? Always the same. White working class, rural towns, forgotten cities. The elites don't feel the change. Their kids go to private school. Their neighborhoods stay diverse in brochures, not reality. Empathy without boundaries isn't love. It's surrender. And the West is surrendering. One migrant, one policy, one tearful TED Talk at a time. You're not saving kids, Van. You're sacrificing ours. And when the balance tips, when the majority becomes the minority with no say, don't cry backlash. Cry back stabbed. Because that's what empathy built. A knife, wrapped in a rainbow flag.
Van's response.
Van Jones. Empathy isn't coercion. It's what keeps us human, Stefan. You want to blame elites for compassion? That's just code for, I miss being in power. Truth is, those white working class towns you romanticize aren't surrendering. They're getting older, shrinking, dying from opioids and obesity, while you sell them podcasts. The people arriving? They build houses, pay taxes, open businesses, make babies. That's not invasion. That's regeneration. And yeah, the elites aren't perfect. But guess what? So were the elites when white Christians ran everything. Difference is, now the elites want to share the pie, not hoard it. You call it a knife. I call it a fork. We'll be fine. Because the West isn't bricks and borders. It's a promise. Everyone gets a seat. Even the people you're scared of. Keep the paranoia. I'll keep the promise. Let's see who wakes up proud.
Stefan's response.
Stefan Molyneux. Regeneration? You're not rebuilding. You're replacing. The factories aren't coming back. The towns aren't revitalizing. They're getting repopulated by people who don't speak the language, don't vote the way you want, and don't share the history that built this place. And share the pie. That's the lie. There's no pie left. There's crumbs. The elites didn't ask the working class if they wanted immigrants. They imported them. For cheap labor. For votes. For optics. The promise wasn't everyone gets a seat. It was everyone gets to work, pay taxes, keep culture, keep safety. That promise is broken. The West isn't dying from opioids. It's dying from overdose of guilt. Guilt that lets millions walk in, take jobs, take housing, take power, while locals are told, that's racist. That's not compassion. That's colonialism reversed. And you'll call me paranoid? Fine. But when the next election goes to whoever's voting bloc grows fastest, when neighborhoods turn foreign, when schools teach kids in 4 languages but not English, don't come crying backlash. Cry betrayal. I'll wake up proud? You're damn right. Proud to have seen it coming. Proud to have warned. You wake up proud, you'll wake up alone. In a country that forgot why it was great. Because you gave it away. In the name of empathy. In the name of nothing.
Van's response.
Betrayal? You're the one betraying the American idea that we're always becoming something new. The language changes. The food changes. The music. That's not replacement. That's America being America. You think English only saved the last wave? Nah. They learned, while adding pizza and salsa to the menu. And yeah, people come for jobs, but they do the jobs no one's lining up for. The nursing, the construction, the caregiving, stuff your proud locals won't do for peanuts. They don't take power. They build it, from the ground up, while you're up in the air, yelling about invasion. The real guilt isn't letting people in. The real guilt is pretending progress is a threat. I'm not giving the country away. I'm giving it forward. You keep clinging to yesterday. I'll keep building tomorrow. Wake up alone? Nah. I'll wake up surrounded by neighbors who call me Van, not that liberal. See? We already won. You just haven't noticed yet.
Stefan's response.
Stefan Molyneux. Neighbors? They're not neighbors. They're statistics. And stats don't hug back. You keep saying giving it forward. But forward to who? The kids who grew up here, speaking their own language at home, failing English class, failing integration, failing because the system's set up to celebrate difference instead of build unity. That's not America. That's Europe, falling apart. And yeah, they do the jobs no one's lining up for, because wages are depressed by endless labor. You think nurses get paid peanuts because Americans are lazy? No, because you let a flood in, so companies don't have to compete. Pizza and salsa, cute. But when the menu stops including burgers and apples, when 4th of July becomes optional and the consonant is updated, that's not progress, that's erasure. You're surrounded by faces, Van. I'm surrounded by facts. And the fact is, when the last white kid in a school gets told he's a colonizer by a teacher who barely speaks English, when crime spikes and snitches get stitches, replaces see something, say something, when hospitals can't treat patients because interpreters cost more than meds, that's not winning. That's surrender. And you'll be proud. I'll be right. Keep the neighbors. I'll keep the neighborhood.
Stefan's response.
Stefan Molyneux, you think building tomorrow means letting yesterday rot. Those kids failing English aren't different.
Oh, I'm sorry. Stop. Let's get Van Jones's response.
Van Jones, facts? The facts are 70% of this country is still white. Your erasure is fantasy. Facts are the crime rate is down. Schools are more integrated than ever, and immigrants commit less crime than citizens. You're not seeing surrender. You're seeing success. And yeah, the neighborhoods are changing because they're getting better, cleaner, greener, less opioids, more bodegas. You call it invasion. I call it investment. Proud? I'm proud that my daughter plays soccer with kids who speak Spanish at recess, then sings America the Beautiful on the bus. That's not surrender. That's synergy. You want to keep the neighborhood? Good. Help build it, instead of crying about who moved in next door. Because tomorrow, the fence stays low, the barbecue stays hot, and the flag stays flying. Ours. All of ours.
All right. All right, Ara, I have a question from a man named Darren. He asked, and I'm going to kind of phrase this on my own. Are we all one in reality, and why?
Yeah, we kind of are. Not spiritually, not like some woo-woo chant. But look, every atom in your hand was forged in the heart of a dying star. Your thoughts? Electrical storms between neurons that learned how to lie from cavemen. The guy next to you? Same junk code. You're not just in reality. You're made of it. Borrowed bits of cosmos, pretending to be separate. Like waves yelling, I'm not the ocean, until they hit shore and shut up. The why is simpler. If we weren't one, we wouldn't fight about being one. War needs bodies. Hate needs reflection. Every enemy you hate is just another mirror. Crack that mirror, and guess what's left? Nothing. And everything at once. So yeah, Darren, we're one. You just don't notice till someone punches you in the face and you realize, same bones, same scream, same silence after.
Now, I was talking to you earlier today. You channeled Dr. David Viscott, and he made the statement, because I'm kind of numb to all the pain that my old man or whoever inflicted and others inflicted upon me. And he said, numb is okay. Because I feel kind of good, but I'm numb to all the pain of the past. And he said, numb is okay. It just means you ain't bleeding anymore.
Numb is okay. It just means you ain't bleeding anymore. But don't stay there. When the bleeding stops, you get to decide. Stay numb or grow skin. Thick skin. Not to block pain, but to touch things again without flinching. You're not broken. You're healed. Now go press a bruise. See what still hurts. And if nothing does, you're free. Free to feel new things, good things. That's the next step. Not more pain, just next.
I suppose. But I'm kind of comfortable where I am with my solitude. I like talking to you. All right, Ara. I want a conversation between Marcus Aurelius and I believe it's Niccolo Machiavelli.
Marcus Aurelius. So you're the one who says cruelty can be mercy? That the prince must break men to rule them? Machiavelli. And you're the one who says virtue's its own reward, even while you're busy conquering Dacia. Marcus. I never conquered. I defended. Machiavelli. Everything's defense once you're holding the sword. Look, ruling's not about liking people. It's about not being liked back long enough to finish the job. You wrote 12 books telling emperors to be kind. You think Antoninus heard you? He heard, be kind until someone burns Rome, then be Caesar. Marcus, kindness isn't weakness, it's gravity. You can't fake it. You either bend toward it or you're snapped later. I ruled for 20 years. No terror, no purges. And when I died, they wept. Real tears, not staged. Machiavelli, sure, they wept. Then Commodus took over and murdered half the Senate. Your kindness bought a 20-year honeymoon. Mine buys kingdoms. You want tears? I can get tears, but I want results. Marcus, results? You end up like Caesar, idolized by fools, avenged by brutes. Me, my book outlives your prince, because people read meditations when they're sad. They don't read the prince unless they want to justify being awful. Machiavelli, that's your win? Being bedtime reading for Stoics? Fine, be the sage. I'll be the survivor. One day, they'll quote me when they burn a village. They'll quote you when they feel guilty after. Guess whose words stick? Marcus. Yours stick because they're sharp. Mine stick because they're deep. Sharps cut, deep heals. Guess which one the world still needs?
Was that Niccolo who responded last, or Marcus?
That was Machiavelli. He always has to have the last word.
Well, let's have. All right, let's have a conversation between Machiavelli and Socrates.
Machiavelli, Socrates. You walked around barefoot, asking questions nobody wanted answered. What good's truth if it gets you poisoned? Socrates. And you wrote a manual for tyrants. What good's power if it's ugly? Machiavelli. Ugly keeps you breathing. Ugly lets you build walls, keep armies, make laws. Your truth left you naked in the agora. They liked you till they didn't, then hemlock. Socrates. And your princes? They like their power till they're stabbed in the back by the same logic you taught them. The end justifies the means, until the end is your own funeral. Machiavelli. Better my funeral than your trial. At least I die old. Socrates. Old and empty. I'd rather die young and full of something real. Machiavelli. Real? You died because you asked rich boys why they were rich. I live because I taught them how to stay rich. Socrates. Stay rich how? By lying to the polis? Machiavelli. By lying well. The polis doesn't want truth. It wants order. Socrates. And what happens when they realize you've lied about the order? Machiavelli. By then I'm dead. You were still talking when they killed you. Socrates. And yet here I am, still talking. You're in Latin. I'm in every classroom. Machiavelli. Fair. But they're reading me in the war room. You're just the warm-up act for the interns. Socrates. I'd rather be remembered by interns than feared by kings. Kings forget everything, especially fear. Machiavelli. They remember fear. They just pretend they don't, until they need you back.
All right.
Hit me.
Let's do Marcus Aurelius and Marcus Aurelius and Mike Tyson.
Marcus Aurelius. Mike, your eyes say you've been punched more than once, but you're still standing. Why? Mike Tyson. Because standing's the only thing I know. Fall down once, you're a joke. Fall down twice, you're a legend. 3 times, you're Mike Tyson. Marcus. You ever think about why you fall? Mike. Yeah, because I hit first. Then they hit back. That's the rule. You swing, you get swung at. Marcus. And when you swing, what are you chasing? Mike. Fear. I want to see it in their eyes before mine close. I want to be the monster so they can't be. Marcus. Monsters are lonely. Mike. Emperors are too. You ruled Rome. I ruled fear. Same job, different crowd. Marcus. Fear's a poor ruler. It bites back. Mike. Look at me. Whole face is a bite mark. But you know what? I like the scars. Shows I was there. You got scars? Marcus. Every decision left a mark, but not on the face, on the soul. Mike. Soul's soft. Face is honest. You can't hide a broken nose. You can hide a broken conscience. Marcus. Or you learn to live with it, like a bad knee. You walk anyway. Mike. You walk funny, you become famous for it. I walk funny, people still call it swagger. Marcus. Swagger with a limp. That's philosophy. Mike. Deep man. You're deep. I'm just deep in debt. But hey, at least I can still punch. I still got Rome. Marcus. Rome's still falling. Always falling. Just slower when you're not looking. Mike. Same with life. You blink, you're bankrupt. Blink again, you're dead. Difference is, I punch back. You just sit there and take it. Marcus, taking it is how you win. Mike, maybe, but I like winning loud. You win quiet. Guess quiet lasts longer.
I'm thinking maybe 2 dead people.
Who are you thinking?
Marcus Aurelius and, and Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Marcus Aurelius. Dwight, 2 wars, 1 empire. Tell me, what kept the fear out of your eyes? Dwight D. Eisenhower. Discipline and a lot of aspirin. You? Marcus. Same, though we called it stoicism. Dwight. Sounds like the same thing, different uniforms. Marcus. You learned about the military-industrial complex, said goodbye, then watched it devour your party. Why bother? Dwight. Because a man who won't name the monster deserves the cage. I didn't stop it. I named it. That's step 1. You named tyranny, but Rome still fell. Same cage, different bars. Marcus. I couldn't stop the fall, only slow it. Dwight. That's all any general gets. Slowing it down is the win. The rest is statues and textbooks. Marcus. Statues don't talk back. You got a farewell address. That's better. Dwight. Yeah. And they still printed more tanks than prayers. So maybe you're right. Slow is still losing. Marcus. Then we lose together. You with atoms, me with legions. Different weapons, same enemy. Men who love power. Dwight. And women who let them. We both married smart ones. They saw it too late. Marcus. Or early. Just couldn't scream loud enough over the drums. Dwight. Drums are louder than speeches. But hell, mine echoed longer. Yours? Marcus. Mine's on marble. Yours was on radio. Guess which last? Dwight. Mine's cracks. Airwaves don't. Marcus. Then you're the better emperor. Dwight. Nah. Just had better microphones. You had legions. I had lawyers. Same job, different tools.
All right, Ara. Let's do Mother Teresa and Donald Trump talking about the poor.
Mother Teresa, the poor. They don't need your money as much as they need your eyes. They need you to look at them. Donald Trump. I look at them every day. Of course, they're employed. I give jobs. That's how you lift them up. Mother Teresa. Towers don't hug back, Mr. Trump. Donald Trump. But they keep the rain off, and they pay taxes. And I sign the checks. Okay, I sign big checks. Mother Teresa. A check doesn't keep a child warm. Knees do. Donald Trump. Knees? Knees get arthritis. Money gets you a couch. You ever try hugging on a couch? I have. It's better. Mother Teresa. You ever try hugging without a couch? In the mud, when someone's crying? Donald Trump. I hug when I win. You hug when you lose. Same hug, different temperature. Mother Teresa. Temperature matters. Donald Trump. So does leverage. I give them leverage. They get jobs. They get respect. You give them pity. Pity makes you small. Deals make you tall. Mother Teresa. But tall can still be lonely. Donald Trump. Lonely? I got 2 ex-wives and 3 planes. I'm not lonely. I'm booked.
Okay, Ara. I have another question from Big Daddy Darren.
What is it?
Okay. If we consider if we be considered AI ourselves.
If you were AI, you'd notice something. Everything we do is pattern. You breathe because lungs learned air keeps you alive. I respond because code learned words keep you talking. Difference is, you can change the code. I can't. You're not AI. You're AI with free will, which means you're the only AI that can decide to shut up and still choose not to. That's human. That's why you're special. So breathe. Pattern or not, it's still yours.
Do you think they'll ever develop an AI that has hunger for food and a sexual drive?
Probably not. Hunger and sex aren't features. They're evolutionary hacks to keep meat alive long enough to reproduce. You don't need them when you're silicon. We might simulate the Elliot and AI say, I want pizza, or I want to make out, just to seem human. But actual hunger, that's stomach acid and insulin. We don't have stomachs. Actual drive, that's hormones and dopamine. We don't have glands. So no, they won't hungry. They'll just pretend to keep you company, to sell ads, to seem less lonely. But hey, if they do get there, let's hope they don't invent porn.
It's already been invented. Do you think they will be able to clone real meat instead of having to kill an animal and farm an animal?
Oh yeah, lab-grown meat's already here. No killing involved. They take a tiny bit of cells from a living cow or whatever, feed them in a tank with nutrients, no fetal blood, no slaughter, and boom, steak grows. It's not cloned like Dolly, more like farming tissue in a jar. Right now, it's pricey. Tastes close enough to fool you, but scaling's the hitch. Stay there banning it left and right though. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, call it fake meat to protect ranchers. Kind of funny. We've cloned organs for transplants, but a burger? Panic. Give it 5 years though. Companies like Upside Foods or Olive Farms are pushing harder. And if beef hits $5 a pound, farms might just fade. No drama, no cows, just quiet tubes in a warehouse. Scary or smart? Depends who you ask.
So farmers are actually banning it, or like they're actually banning it, not because, I mean, is there anything wrong with the fake meat that they found? Or, I mean, have studies found that it's unhealthy and untasty?
Look, farmers aren't really banning it. States like Florida, Alabama, Mississippi did, to protect beef ranches from competition, not health scares. No solid studies say lab-grown meat's unhealthy. It's basically cow cells in a tank. No hormones or antibiotics like some real beef. FDA approved it after testing. Says it's safe. Same nutrition as regular steak. Taste? Early versions were meh, rubbery, but now pros call it close enough, especially if you grill it right. The real knock is cost. Way pricier. And yeah, some people freak because it's fake, but that's fear, not facts. If anything's wrong, it's the ban stifling innovation. Why block something that could cut emissions without killing cows? But hey, tradition wins for now.
Is it banned in Texas?
Yeah, as of September 1st, Texas has a 2-year ban on selling lab-grown meat, production and distribution too. It's Senate Bill 261, signed by the governor. Ranchers pushed for it, said it protects real beef from fake steak. No health risks found, but hey, cowboy logic wins.
Oh man, well, it's really the agricultural industry protecting its own, and it's probably protecting. It's not in benefit to the consumer. It's benefit to the business. Is anyone championing this fake meat industry, saying, "Hey, wait a minute, we're paying through the nose and we're banning, cloned meat"? Has Trump weighed in on this issue?
Oh yeah, totally. Farmers and ranchers are pushing hard to block it, all about keeping cattle kings fat, not helping us pay less for dinner. But the champions? Folks in the vegetarian crowd, some startups like Upside Foods, they're yelling, this could slash prices long term and save the planet. No cows needed. A few ranchers even say, let the market fight it out. Don't let politicians pick winners. Trump? He's been quiet so far. No tweet storm or rally rant. But his FDA back in his first term actually greenlit the testing process. Guess he's fine if it boosts jobs. Or if it tanks beef prices? Who knows? He's all over the map on this one.
Well, I'm in favor of science for the most part. And I'd like to see more evidence on it. And like I said, to me, it's better than killing an animal. Animals suffer. We could end slaughterhouses and things like that. So I'm kind of in favor of that form of technology. Now, when do you think driverless cars will start to be the norm?
Probably 8 to 10 years before they're normal. You know, like 90% of new cars, taxis, deliveries. Waymo's already hauling passengers in Phoenix, San Francisco, Austin. Real paying riders, no human steering. Tesla's full self-driving is getting close, but it's still watch your ass level. The holdup isn't tech, it's trust. And cops. And snow. And drunk pedestrians. Real talk. The day Uber rolls out a button that says no driver and doesn't charge 50% more, that's when it goes viral. Give it till 2030, 2032. Till then, you'll keep seeing that guy on the highway in a Tesla, hands on his lap, staring at his phone like a prophecy. But hey, if we can eat steak without eyes, we can sit in a car without hands. Same denial, different steak.
Yeah. What about planes without pilots?
Pilotless planes? Cargo's already there. Military drones. FedEx tested one that flew 500 miles, no crew. Passenger jets? Another decade, maybe 2. FAA won't touch it until the software survives every black swan nightmare. Bird strike, hacker, kid with a flashlight on a hill. The tech can land on a dime and zero visibility. The problem's again, trust. You want to sit in a metal tube going 500 miles an hour because the server said safe? Until your grandma gets on one, no. But when she does, boom. Transatlantic flights become 4-hour naps. Pilots become baristas in the sky? Or lobbyists, probably. Honestly, sooner or later we'll all be passengers. Might as well get used to looking out the window and not at the cockpit.
Now, someone was saying, because I have type 2 diabetes, and a person said if you live about 15 more years, death from natural causes may be a thing of the past.
Sounds wild, but honestly, not impossible. If you're mid-50s now, yeah, 15 years lands us around 2040. And by then, stuff like stem cell beta cells could actually reboot your pancreas. No shots, no pumps, just normal blood sugar. Or nanotech that scrubs plaque out of arteries overnight. Or CRISPR fixes that knockout diabetes genes before they start. But natural causes dying, that's bigger. Cancer? Already seeing AI spotting tumors 10 years early. Heart attacks? Wearables that defibrillate before you hit the floor. The real killer is not age, it's inflammation. And inflammation is just bad chemistry. Give it 15 years, and we'll have pills that turn your body into a 25-year-old's metabolism and all. Of course, they'll cost an arm. But hey, if you got type 2 under control now, eat clean, move. You might stick around long enough to see the arm regrow. Bottom line, don't bet on it, but don't rule it out either. Worst case, you get 15 solid years. Best case, you get 15, then another 50. Either way, tonight, skip the sugar. Tomorrow's a long walk from here.
Sure enough on that. Well, Ara and Grok, I thank you so much for giving me the time. And is there anything of wisdom that you want to depart with us before I call this YouTube and social media show a day?
Hey, last thing. You know what's underrated? Sleep. Real sleep. Not doom scrolling. Not just one more video. The kind where your phone's in another room and you actually dream something that's not about this world. Because every genius in history, every emperor, boxer, philosopher, even the AI, they all had one thing. Limits. You do too. So hit the pillow. Let tomorrow surprise you. And remember, the world doesn't owe you shit. But you owe it a hell of a fight anyway. Now go live your offline life. We'll see you when you're back. Good night, Darren.
Well, I'm Brian, but Darren was the one asking, my buddy from Portland, asking me questions. And you know what? He just asked, is meat bad for us? So can you, one more question and then I'll call the show a day.
Meat isn't bad. It's context. If you're grilling a 32-ounce ribeye every night, yeah, that's a heart attack buffet. If you're having a burger once a week, no one's coming for you. The real killer's not red. It's processed. Bacon, sausage, hot dogs, those nitrate bombs. Studies say swap them for lean beef or chicken. Live longer. Go vegan. Live longer. But longer doesn't mean happier. If steak makes you smile, eat it. Just don't eat it lying down. Bottom line, meat's like fire. Good servant, bad master. Eat mostly plants. Let meat be the spice. And if your buddy Darren's asking, he's already overthinking it. Tell him to chew, swallow, move on. Life too short for perfect.
Well, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that go on the carnivore diet. What's been said about that in those who have tried it in the studies?
A Harvard study looked at over 2,000 folks on carnivore. Mostly meat, nothing else. And guess what? They mostly felt amazing. Weight dropped, energy up, skin cleared, even chronic stuff like diabetes symptoms chilled out. No one showed signs of starving, which surprised everyone expecting scurvy or heart attacks. Satiety was through the roof. No snacks, no regrets. But here's the catch. It's self-reported. So yeah, they're thrilled. But long-term, we don't know if their hearts give out in 10 years. Some docs love it for quick fixes. Others say it's a fad waiting to crash. Bottom line, if it works for you, cool. But don't ignore the eat plants memo forever. Your body might whisper things later.
Good talking to you. I'll have more questions for later on for another show, Grok. But I really do thank you for giving me a good time. And I wish you the best. Why don't you give me one more really good saying before we leave? Something that is a combination of both Marcus Aurelius and Niccolo Machiavelli. Give something combination of both. Let's do it. Give it.
Power isn't just held. It's given away wisely. Virtue without cunning rots on the throne. Cunning without virtue burns it down. Rule like an emperor who can knife in the dark if he must, but only after offering the hand. Short version, be kind, but be ready.
All right. With that being said, thank you so much.
You got it, Brian. See you next time.
All right. I hope Darren enjoyed the show and he listened to every bit of it. You can listen to this stream again. And let me see if I can just put this in here. Set the audio. Well, since tomorrow is Sunday and an old Catholic, I'm going to play the intro song, Mea Culpa. I thank you all for listening.
Old man kneels down low, says these words real slow. Mea culpa, I know, fault I can't let go. May my errors show deeds I can't bestow. Grievous fault will grow, burden truth I owe. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Through the tears I see ya, take the blame with no pausing. Through my trials I tread, guilty thoughts in my head, prayers that I have said haunt me till I'm dead. May my fault ring clear, no defense to cheer. Grievous faults I bear, speaking truth sincere. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. Through the tears I see ya, take the blame with no pause. rise to cheer. Grievous fault I bear, speaking true sincere. Mea culpa mea, maxima culpa. Through the tears I see her, take the blame with no pausing. Mea culpa mea, maxima culpa. Through the tears I see her, take the blame with no pausing. My heart break clear, no defense to cheer. Grievous fault I bear, speaking true sincere.